Bill and Hilary Clinton have agreed to testify before the US Congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The former president and former Secretary of State initially defied a subpoena from the House Oversight Committee, but they've now bowed to the threat of being held in contempt of Congress, which is punishable by up to 12 months in jail and up to a $100,000 fine. It'll mark the first time that lawmakers have compelled a former president to testify. Elena Shore is senior Washington editor for the U.S. news website Semaphore, and she joins us now from the U.S. Capitol. Good to have you back with us, Elena. Now, help us understand the magnitude of a former U.S. president being compelled to testify before Congress.
Well, as you've already identified, this is a fairly unprecedented move. One former president has appeared before Congress, but not through compulsory means, and certainly not on such a controversial topic. It's also quite relevant that by kind of pulling the Clintons into this dispute, the Republican Party has basically guaranteed that if Democrats take back the U.S. House of Congress in the fall, which is quite likely, they will try to haul in Donald Trump because it sets a new precedent for presidential testimony.
Yeah, now the Oversight Committee will examine possible links to the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Now, do we know what kind of questions the Clintons might face?
Well, let's start with Hillary, because it's not exactly certain to anyone except the Republicans why the former Secretary of State, First Lady, and 2016 Donald Trump rival is even being called. There's no signs or indications that Mrs. Clinton had any direct or personal contact with Jeffrey Epstein. But of course, I listed her as a Donald Trump foe for a reason. It's quite likely Republicans just want the political benefit that might come from getting her there. Now, Bill Clinton, the former president, he did take several trips on Jeffrey Epstein's jet for international travel in the 2002-2003 range. And as you're showing on screen, he was photographed having some sort of a celebratory time with Epstein. So there's a lot for them to ask about in terms of the nature of the two men's relationship.
Now, you've mentioned what's possible in terms of the midterms coming up. Donald Trump has called the Epstein files a Democrat problem. For which side is this potentially more dangerous?
Well, it's not just Bill Clinton among prominent Democrats who has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The delegate from the Virgin Islands, where Mr. Epstein had his island, is named Stacey Plaskett. She's a Democrat who has multiple copious text message records with Epstein. But of course, a former president and a non-voting member of Congress pale in comparison to Donald Trump's political risk from Jeffrey Epstein. So I would have to say, although it is somewhat of a Democrat problem, it is far more of a Donald Trump problem politically.
Elena Shore, senior Washington editor for Semaphore, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.